My name is Evelyn Marie Thompson, 72 years old, living in the same white clapboard farmhouse on Maple Grove Road in rural Jasper County, Illinois, that my late husband Michael and I bought in 1978 with his first big paycheck from the Caterpillar plant in Peoria and my savings from teaching second grade in the county school. The house had heart, wide front porch with the glider swing Michael built from scrap lumber, a backyard big enough for a vegetable garden, and a tire swing. The grandkids used to love a basement workshop where Michael restored old farm tools, and I kept my sewing machine, and a living room filled with the things we collected over 47 years of marriage. Michael's stamp collection started when he was 10, a coin collection he added to every birthday, vintage baseball cards from the 1950s to 60s, his pride, and a mahogany hope chest filled with quilts, linens, and keepsakes for the grandkids. Michael passed 5 years ago from a sudden heart attack while mowing the back 40. He left me the house free and clear, his pension, modest but steady, Social Security, and the one thing we both cherished as security, a $120,000 college savings account. We started in 1995, when our only child, Derek Michael Thompson, had his first son. We called it the Grandkids Future Fund. Every tax refund, every overtime check, every birthday card with a $20 bill from Michael's mother, we added to it. Michael used to say, "This is for their college, Evie. They'll have the education we never could afford." I promised him I'd keep it safe. Derek was 44 now, living in Chicago with his second wife and 2 teenage boys from his first marriage. He visited twice a year, Christmas and his birthday, always with stories of promotions, new cars, bigger apartments. I was proud. I sent money when he asked for car repairs or legal fees from the divorce. Never questioned. Family, right? The fund had grown to $124,800 by the spring of 2025. I planned to surprise Derek with it at his oldest son's high school graduation party. He kept promising to host one, but he never hosted one. Instead, he called one rainy April afternoon. "Mom, great news. The boys are both going to private colleges next year. Full tuition, room and board, everything. I use the college fund to lock in the deposits and first-year payments. It's perfect. You don't have to worry about a thing." I cried happy tears at first. "Oh, Derek, that's wonderful. When do I meet the admissions people? I'd love to see the campuses." A pause, then his voice, careful, almost rehearsed. "Mom, the payments are already made. The fund covered it all. You don't need to come up. The travel's too much. You'd hate the crowds and the flights. You know how your knees are." My stomach dropped. "You used the entire fund? Without asking?" He laughed, light, dismissive. "Mom, it was for the grandkids' college. That's what it was always for. The accounts are set up in their names now. You'll see the thank you cards. I'll send photos of move-in day. You'll feel like you were there." I sat down hard on the kitchen chair. "You didn't ask. You took. Mom, don't be dramatic. You're too old for Chicago anyway. Stay home, rest. I'll call after orientation. Love you." He hung up. I sat there for hours, phone in hand. The kitchen clock ticked louder than usual. I remembered the day Michael and I opened the account, Derek's first son in a stroller giggling. Michael kissed my cheek. "This is for their dreams, Evie. We'll make sure they have the future we never could." I'd promised. That night I didn't sleep. I walked the house in my slippers, touching things. The basement safe where Michael kept the stamp and coin collections. His pride worth $28,000 to $35,000 together. The living room display case with the vintage baseball cards. graded 1952 Topps Mantle Rookie, full sets, worth $18,000. The mahogany hope chest, filled with quilts and keepsakes I'd saved, for the grandkids. My mother's pearl necklace and sapphire brooch in the jewelry box, $9,800 total. And the antique roll-top desk, Michael restored himself. Derek had always eyed them. "Those coins and cards are worth a fortune, Mom. Mine someday, right?" He'd laugh, but his eyes were serious. The cold clarity hit me. Not rage yet, but resolve. He hadn't just taken money. He'd taken Michael's last gift, my security, my dream of seeing the boys graduate debt-free. By morning, I'd decided. No police yet. Bank fraud charges could take years. No begging. I'd reclaim what was mine, starting with the things he'd always assumed were his. I opened my laptop and searched Antique Appraisers, Peoria, Illinois. First hit, Lang Estate Buyers. A man named Victor answered. "I have family heirlooms," I said. "Coins, stamps, baseball cards, desk, house call possible?" He was there by noon. Victor was 62, gentle eyes behind wire rims, white gloves in his pocket. We sat in the living room over coffee. I showed him the coin and stamp collections first. Indian head pennies, buffalo nickels, Morgan dollars, a full set of 19th century U.S. stamps. "Strong collections," he said. "Excellent condition. $32,000 to $36,000 retail. Cash offer, $28,500 today. Next, the vintage baseball cards. 1952 Topps Mantle Rookie, graded. Full sets from the 50s and 60s. Museum quality, $17,800. Then the roll-top desk, oak, pigeonholes, secret drawer, Michael's pride. Restored beautifully, circa 1910, $6,200. Total offer, $52,500 cash. I took it. He counted the bills on the kitchen table. Crisp hundreds. I signed receipts. He loaded carefully. Coins in padded cases, cards in sleeves. As he left, "Mrs. Thompson, this feels heavy. If you need a lawyer, I know one. Elder financial abuse specialist." I smiled thinly. I'm starting to know them too. Alone, I deposited $50,000 in a new account. My name only, online only. No joint access. The rest stayed for immediate needs. That evening I went grocery shopping. Not the discount store, but the upscale market in Peoria. Fresh filet mignon, wild salmon, aged parmesan, heirloom tomatoes, a bottle of Cabernet I'd never bought before. Peaches, out of season, expensive, dark chocolate truffles. Back home, I set the table with the everyday plates, the good china still in the cabinet, for now. Lit a candle, ate slowly on the porch. The steak melted. Wine warmed me. For the first time in years, food tasted like freedom. Derek texted, "Mom, the boys are so excited. Deposits locked in. Thanks for the college fund, LOL. Miss you." Photo. His sons in college hoodies, smiling. I didn't reply. I opened the empty safe, bare metal now. I closed it gently. The display case was bare. I whispered to the quiet house. "Michael, forgive me, but I'm keeping my promise." The ice inside me turned to steel. The morning after Victor left with the coins, stamps, and baseball cards, the house felt different. Not emptier in a sad way. Lighter. The basement safe, now just a metal box with the door ajar, was silent. No more clink of metal when I walked by. The living room display case where the 1952 Topps Mantle Rookie had sat in its graded sleeve was now just glass and dust. The hope chest upstairs, mahogany polished by Michael's hands, stood closed, but I knew its contents waited. I stood in the basement doorway for a long minute, coffee mug in hand, Strong black, the way Michael always made it, letting the silence settle. No ticking clock to remind me of time stolen. No cards to dust, for the grandkids. The spaces were mine to fill, or leave empty. I drove to the bank first thing. Same branch in Peoria, where Michael and I opened the college fund account in 1995. The teller, a young woman named Aisha, who remembered Michael from the plant, helped me open the new savings account. Separate from the old one? She asked gently. Yes, I said. Just mine. No joint access. Ever. She set it up. Online only. 2-factor authentication. High-yield interest. I deposited $50,000 cash from Victor's payment. The remaining $2,500 stayed in my purse for immediate use. No more family access. No more trusting blindly. Back home, I sat at the kitchen table. Same table where Derek used to do homework as a boy, where Michael carved the Thanksgiving turkey, and opened my laptop. Searched Antique Jewelry Appraisers, Peoria, Illinois. Found a specialist, Eleanor Grant, retired from the Peoria Historical Society, now private appraisals. Her website was simple. Photos of estate pieces, testimonials from families. I emailed her photos of the remaining jewelry. My mother's pearl necklace. Graduated natural luster, $3,100, appraised online. The sapphire brooch Michael gave me for our 30th anniversary, $4,800. A vintage diamond tennis bracelet I'd worn only to church, and Michael's gold wedding band, sentimental but gold value, $800. She replied within the hour. These are lovely. I'd like to see them in person. House call tomorrow? She arrived at 11 a.m. Silver hair in a neat chignon, tweed jacket, loop around her neck, white gloves. We sat in the living room over coffee, the good mugs, the last ones left. She examined each piece carefully, turning, weighing, checking hallmarks. The pearl necklace is exceptional. Natural, graduated, excellent luster, $3,100 retail. Sapphire brooch, Art Deco, good clarity, $4,800. Bracelet, excellent stones, $2,900. Wedding band, 14-karat gold, $800. Total cash offer, $11,600 today. I nodded slowly. $11,600. Another chunk of the $120,000 Derek had taken, returned in metal and stone. I accepted. She counted the cash, crisp bills in stacks. I signed receipts. She packed the pieces in padded cases like they were fragile hearts. As she left, Mrs. Thompson, this feels heavy. If you need a lawyer, I know one. Elder financial abuse specialist. I smiled thinly. I'm starting to know them too. Alone again, I didn't mourn the empty jewelry box. I went shopping. Real shopping. The market in Peoria, fresh Illinois pork chops, thick-cut bacon from a local farm, aged cheddar, heirloom tomatoes bursting with summer juice, fresh basil still damp from rinsing, a crusty sourdough boule, a bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon from Napa, something Michael and I used to look at in catalogs but never bought, peaches, imported sweet, dark chocolate truffles dusted with cocoa, checkout total, $158.32. A year ago, I would have put half back. Today, I swiped the new debit card without hesitation. Home, I unpacked slowly. The fridge light glowed. Empty shelves filled with color and life. Pork chops on the bottom shelf. Berries in glass bowls. Cheese in the crisper. I stood back and looked. My fridge had never looked like this. Not even at Christmas. That evening I cooked. Pan-seared pork chops with apple cider glaze, roasted potatoes, green beans with bacon, warm bread dipped in butter. I set the table properly, Cloth napkin folded neatly, wine glass polished, candle flickering. Ate slowly on the porch, the swing creaking softly, fireflies blinking in the yard. Every bite was deliberate, luxurious, mine. Halfway through the meal, my phone buzzed. Derek, video call. I almost didn't answer, but I did. His face filled the screen, tanned from a celebratory golf weekend, background of a modern condo living room, his wife laughing in the distance. Mom, hey, the boys are settled. Dorms look great. Thanks again for the college fund, LOL. How's everything back home? I took a slow bite of pork chop, chewed deliberately. Quiet, good. He squinted at the screen. You're eating outside? Pork chops? Mom, where'd you get money for all that? The fund was sold, I said calmly. More things. Fair prices. His smile faltered. Mom, you can't keep doing this. The coins were Dad's. The cards. Grandpa's. Those were supposed to be mine someday. They were mine, I corrected gently. And someday isn't today. You took my today. $120,000 for college without asking. I replaced it. He laughed, forced, uncomfortable. Okay, dramatic. It was for the grandkids' education. You always taught me to make sacrifices for family. I taught you honesty, too. His wife leaned in, smiling nervously. Hi, Mrs. Thompson. Derek talks about you all the time. Thanks for helping with the boys' future. I nodded politely. Enjoy it. Derek's tone shifted, irritated now. Look, Mom, I get you're upset, but selling everything, that's extreme. The coins were worth way more than you got. You got ripped off. I got fair offers, I said. Cash, immediate, no regrets. He rubbed his face. Just stop selling stuff. Wait till the boys graduate. We'll figure out a payment plan. I've got a bonus coming. Big one. We'll send you photos. You'll feel like you were there. I looked at the empty display case in the background of my view. I don't need photos. I needed to be asked. Silence stretched. Then, you're being selfish. After everything Dad left. After I took care of things. You took. I corrected. Not cared. He hung up, abruptly. I finished dinner in peace. The pork chops were tender. The wine warm. The fireflies danced. The next week brought more. Eleanor sold the last small items. A vintage sewing machine collection. $2,900. Michael's old pocket watch. $1,800. Account hit $78,000. I opened a brokerage account. Simple index funds. Low fees. Talked to a fiduciary advisor on the phone. Free consultation. You're in a strong position, Mrs. Thompson, she said. This can grow steadily for years. For the first time, steadily sounded like possibility, not survival. Derek called on day 12, voice crackling over the line. Mom, hey, the boys are loving college. How are you holding up? You sound different. I was on the porch swing, glass of wine in hand, watching fireflies blink in the yard. I'm good, Derek. Quiet but good. He laughed, nervous. Quiet? You're probably missing me. Boil some oatmeal or something. I'll bring you souvenirs. College swag. Promise. I smiled into the dark. I'm finding better things to eat. Another pause. What does that mean? Resources, I said calmly. Ones you didn't know about. He chuckled, but it was forced. Resources? Like what, changing the couch cushions? Come on, Mom, don't be dramatic. It's just money. I'll Venmo you when my bonus hits. I took a slow sip. No need. I've handled it. Silence. Then, what do you mean, handled it? I looked at the empty spots in the living room through the window. I sold some things. The coins, the stamps, the cards. Fair prices. Proceeds replaced what you took. And more. His voice sharpened. You sold Dad's stuff? Mom, those were heirlooms. Grandpa's coins, the mantle card. Those were supposed to be mine. They were mine, I corrected. And you assumed. Big difference. He sputtered. This is insane. You're overreacting. It was for the grandkids' college. Once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You couldn't even spot me that? I spotted you plenty, I said. You spent Michael's last gift. He hung up, angry. I finished the wine, watching the stars come out over the fields. The house was quieter without the collections, but my heart beat steady the weeks after selling the jewelry, the roll-top desk, and the last small items passed in a rhythm I hadn't known in decades. My rhythm. Morning started slow. Coffee on the porch swing, watching the sun rise over the cornfields across Maple Grove Road, the distant hum of a tractor starting its day. No alarm clock, no rush to make breakfast for Derek when he was visiting as a boy. Just me, the creak of the swing chains Michael oiled every spring, and the soft call of morning doves in the garden. The house continued to lighten. Eleanor came twice more, first for the vintage sewing machine collection, $2,900 cash, then for Michael's old pocket watch and a set of antique farm tools from the basement, $4,100. Each visit felt like shedding weight. The basement safe was empty. No more clink of coins when I walked by. The living room display case was just glass and dust. The upstairs hope chest, mahogany polished by Michael's hands, stood closed, but I knew its contents waited. My new account balance climbed to $88,000, interest ticking up daily, plus the small withdrawals for groceries and comforts I'd denied myself for years. I started small luxuries that felt like rebellion. A new recliner for the living room, soft leather, electric lift, for when my knees ached, delivered and set up by two young men who called me ma'am and thanked me for the tip. A weekly manicure at the little salon in town, soft peach polish, no more chipped nails from scrubbing pots, fresh flowers from the market every Saturday, sunflowers when in season, lilies otherwise, always on the kitchen table where they caught the light through the bay window. And the food. God, the food became my daily ritual. No more boiling oatmeal or stretching casseroles. I shopped at the upscale market in Peoria twice a week, reusable bags in hand, no coupons. Fresh Illinois pork chops, thick-cut bacon from a local farm, aged cheddar, heirloom tomatoes bursting with summer juice, fresh basil still damp from rinsing, a crusty sourdough boule, a bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon from Napa, something Michael and I used to look at in catalogs but never bought. Peaches, imported, sweet, dark chocolate truffles dusted with cocoa. One Thursday night I cooked a feast for one. Grilled pork chops with apple cider glaze, roasted potatoes, green beans with bacon, warm bread dipped in butter. I set the table properly, cloth napkin folded neatly, wine glass polished, candle flickering. Ate slowly on the porch, the swing creaking softly, fireflies blinking in the yard. Every bite was deliberate, luxurious, mine. Halfway through the meal, my phone buzzed. Derek, video call. I almost didn't answer, but I did. His face filled the screen, tanned from a campus tour weekend, background of a college dorm lounge, his wife laughing in the distance. Mom! Hey! The boys are loving college. Tours went great. Thanks again for the fund, LOL. How's everything back home? I took a slow bite of pork chop, chewed deliberately. Quiet. Good. He squinted at the screen. You're eating outside. Pork chops. Mom, where'd you get money for all that? The fund was sold, I said calmly. More things. Fair prices. His smile faltered. Mom, you can't keep doing this. The coins were Dad's. The cards. Grandpa's. Those were supposed to be mine someday. They were mine, I corrected gently. And someday isn't today. You took my today, $120,000 for college without asking. I replaced it. He laughed, forced, uncomfortable. Okay, dramatic. It was for the grandkids' education. You always taught me to make sacrifices for family. I taught you honesty, too. His wife leaned in, smiling nervously. Hi, Mrs. Thompson. Derek talks about you all the time. Thanks for helping with the boys' future. I nodded politely. Enjoy it. Derek's tone shifted, irritated now. Look, Mom, I get you're upset, but selling everything? That's extreme. The coins were worth way more than you got. You got ripped off. I got fair offers, I said. Cash, immediate, no regrets. He rubbed his face. Just stop selling stuff. Wait till the boys graduate. We'll figure out a payment plan. I've got a bonus coming. Big one. We'll send you photos. You'll feel like you were there. I looked at the empty display case in the background of my view. I don't need photos. I needed to be asked. Silence stretched. Then, you're being selfish. After everything Dad left. After I took care of things. You took, I corrected, not cared. He hung up, abruptly. I finished dinner in peace. The pork chops were tender, the wine warm, the fireflies danced. The next week brought more. Eleanor sold the last small items. A vintage sewing machine collection, $2,900. Michael's old pocket watch, $1,800. Account hit, $92,000. I called Ellen Whitaker, elder law attorney in Peoria. She took my call immediately. Mrs. Thompson, tell me everything. I did. The college fund account, the unauthorized transfers, the deposits made without consent, the lack of receipts or proof. She listened without interruption. This is elder financial abuse, she said. Unauthorized use of designated funds, breach of fiduciary duty, if any informal authority existed, potential fraud. We can file for accounting, restitution, possible criminal charges. You have proof. Bank statements, his texts, photos of the dorm move-in he sent. Good. I'll file today. You'll need to come in for signatures. And Evelyn, you're strong. Most don't fight back. I'm tired of not fighting. We set an appointment. I drove to Peoria the next day. First time alone in months. Ellen's office was small, warm. Photos of her grandkids on the desk. She reviewed everything, drafted the petition. Demand accounting of funds. Seek restitution plus damages for breach of trust. You'll win, she said. The evidence is clear. He'll have to repay, likely with interest and fees. I signed. Felt the weight shift. Not gone, but lighter. Derek texted that night. Long message. Mom, lawyer called. This is insane. You're suing me? Your own son? Over money for the grandkids? I've been taking care of everything. Drop it. Let's talk. I replied once. The courts will talk. Talk to my lawyer. Blocked his number for the night. The sales continued. Victor sold the last small items. A vintage camera collection, $2,900. My mother's antique sewing box, $1,800. Account hit, $96,000. I treated myself to a spa day, first ever. Massage, facial, manicure. Sat in a quiet room with cucumber water, soft music. Felt my shoulders drop. Back home I cooked again. Steak with garlic butter, roasted vegetables, fresh bread. Ate on the porch. Watched the sunset paint the sky orange over the fields. Derek unblocked. Called from a new number. I answered. Mom, please, I'm sorry. I was stressed. The tuition, the cars. I thought I could handle it. I didn't think about you, about Dad's promise. I listened. I'll pay back. He continued. Promise, just drop the suit. No. he cried, real sobs. "You're destroying our family." "You did that," I said softly. "When you took without asking. When you spent my security on your choices." A silence. Then, "I hate this." "I know," I said, "but I'm done paying for your mistakes." I hung up. The house was quiet. No coins, no stamps, no cards. But it was mine, and I was awake. The hearing date arrived on a frigid January morning, 5 weeks after Ellen Whitaker filed the petition. The Jasper County Courthouse in Newton was the same red brick building where Michael and I had gotten our marriage license in 1973. I walked up the steps slowly, walker steady, wearing the navy wool coat I'd saved for special occasions. The one Derek once said made me look like a grandma from a Christmas card. Ellen met me at the door, calm, professional, briefcase in hand, her gray scarf wrapped tight against the wind. "You ready?" she asked. I nodded. "I've waited long enough." The courtroom was small, wood-paneled, high ceilings, the faint smell of old paper and coffee. Judge Harlan Thompson, no relation, just coincidence, was a man in his late 50s, reputation for being fair but stern with family disputes. Derek sat on the other side with his lawyer, a young man in a cheap suit who kept adjusting his tie. Derek looked thinner, eyes shadowed, flannel shirt rumpled like he hadn't slept. No grandkids, no wife. Judge Thompson called the case, In R.I., Accounting and Restitution of Designated Funds. Thompson versus Thompson. Ellen presented first, clear, methodical. Bank statements showing unauthorized transfers, $120,000 from the college fund account to Derek's linked accounts. His texts admitting the deposits for private college tuition. Photos of dorm move-in he sent as proof. Affidavits from the bank manager confirming Derek's access and spending. My medical records. No incapacity. Eleanor's receipts for the sales, framed as evidence of asset protection, not theft. Your Honor, Ellen said, this is clear elder financial abuse. Unauthorized transfer of designated funds meant for the petitioner's grandchildren's education, used for personal benefit without consent. We request full accounting, restitution with interest, and punitive damages for breach of trust and emotional distress. Derek's lawyer stood, nervous. Your Honor, my client acted in good faith. The funds were designated for the grandkids' college. Mr. Thompson used them exactly for that purpose. Private tuition deposits. Mrs. Thompson was grieving after her husband's death, perhaps not fully able to manage decisions. The payments saved the grandchildren thousands in loans. Judge Thompson leaned forward. Evidence of incapacity? The lawyer faltered. The grief? Grief isn't incapacity, he said. Call your client. Derek took the stand, sworn in, voice low at first. Mr. Thompson, Ellen began, did you transfer $120,000 from your mother's college savings account to accounts under your control? Yes, but it was for the boys' tuition. The account was always for their college. Did your mother authorize the transfer? She never said no. Did she say yes? Silence. No. Did you consult her before making the payments? No. But she knew it was for the grandkids. Did you invite her to the move-in days or orientations? Derek shifted. The travel was too much for her. Ellen held up the dorm photo. This looks like a proud family event. Did you tell her the money came from the account she and her late husband built for the grandkids? Derek looked down. I thought she'd understand. Why not ask? I didn't want to bother her. Or because you knew she'd say no. Derek didn't answer. Judge Thompson spoke directly. Mr. Thompson, your parents saved for decades for their grandchildren's future. You took it without permission, spent it on tuition without consulting the account holder, and told her she was too old to be involved. Do you have anything to say? Derek's voice cracked. I'm sorry. I was excited for the boys, the private schools. It was their dream. I thought Mom would be happy for them. The judge's face remained neutral. Happiness isn't the court's role. Accountability is. He ruled quickly. Full accounting, ordered. Restitution, $120,000 or SIPL, plus 8% interest from date of first unauthorized transfer, $9,600 plus. Punitive damages, $40,000 for breach of trust and emotional distress. Attorney fees, covered by Derek. Criminal referral to prosecutor for potential fraud. Derek stared, face pale. His lawyer whispered urgently. Derek stood. Mom, please, don't do this. I can't pay that. I'll lose the house, the cars, the boys. I met his eyes, steady. You took everything from me. Now you pay. He broke, tears, shoulders shaking. I hate you for this. The words landed, but they didn't break me. I know, I said quietly, but I love myself enough to stop letting you. Judge Thompson adjourned. Ellen squeezed my hand. You won, Evelyn. Outside the courthouse, Derek approached, alone. Mom, can we talk? Just us? I nodded. We sat on a bench under a bare oak tree. I'm sorry, he said, raw, broken. I was selfish. Thought the tuition was everything. Thought you'd forgive me. I didn't see you, really see you, as someone with dreams, too. I listened. I'll pay, he continued. It'll take time. Selling assets, cutting back. But I'll pay. And I want to fix this, if you'll let me. I looked at him. The boy who used to fish with Michael at the pond, now a man facing consequences. I accept the sorry, I said. But payment first. Actions. No more excuses. You visit when I invite. You respect boundaries. And you tell the boys the truth, why Grandma's fund is gone. He nodded, tears falling. I will. He left. No hug. Just a quiet, thank you for not pressing charges. I watched him walk away, shoulders slumped. Ellen drove me home. The house welcomed me. Lighter, quieter, mine. That night I cooked a feast. Steak with garlic butter, roasted vegetables, fresh bread, the last bottle of Cabernet. Ate on the porch, stars bright over the fields. I raised my glass to the dark. To Michael, I whispered. To promises kept. The night answered soft. Crickets, wind in the corn. Freedom tasted like steak. And peace. The court order arrived by certified mail 2 weeks after the hearing. Thick envelope, official seal, Judge Thompson's signature firm on every page. Full restitution, $120,000. Principal plus $9,600 interest, $40,000 punitive damages, attorney fees covered. Derek had 90 days to pay or face liens, wage garnishment, asset seizure. Ellen called the same day. It's done, Evelyn. He can appeal, but he won't win. The evidence was overwhelming. I sat at the kitchen table, same table where Derek used to eat cereal as a boy, and read every line twice. The house felt different after that, not lighter anymore, settled. The empty shelves and bare corners weren't wounds. They were space. Space for new things. Space for me. Derek paid in installments. First $30,000 wired within 30 days. He sold his wife's jewelry and took a second mortgage on their Chicago condo. Then $20,000 a month after that. No excuses. No begging. Just automatic transfers and a short text each time. Payment sent. D. I acknowledged once. Received. No more. He didn't call for 3 months. When he did, it was quiet. Voice low. No bravado. Mom, I'm selling the condo. Moving to a smaller place. The payments are taking everything. I'm working 2 jobs now. Consulting by day, rideshare at night. I get it. What I did, it was wrong. I'm not asking forgiveness. Just, can I see you? Not for money. Just to talk. I let him wait a week. Then, come Sunday, 2 p.m. alone. He arrived early, alone, in an old sedan, the luxury SUV gone, carrying a small potted sunflower, the kind Michael used to grow in the garden. He looked older, lines around his eyes, hair grayer at the temples. I opened the door. No hug. Just, come in. We sat on the porch swing, Michael's swing still creaking the same way. The sunflower sat between us on the small table. I planted these for you, he said. Thought maybe the backyard could use them. I touched a leaf. Maybe. Silence stretched, comfortable, not tense. Then he spoke, voice rough. I'm sorry, Mom. Not just the money. For everything. For thinking your life was background to mine. For the college fund. For the excuses. For making you feel like a bank instead of my mother. I listened. I'm in therapy, he continued. Court mandated at first. But I kept going. I'm learning why I did it. Pressure. Greed. Thinking happiness was big tuitions. Perfect futures for the boys. Not people. Not promises. He looked at the empty yard. Dad would be ashamed. He'd be disappointed, I said softly. But he'd want you to grow. Derek nodded, tears in his eyes. The grandkids. They ask about you. I told them the truth, age appropriate, that I made a big mistake with Grandma's fund, that Grandma needed space. They want to visit, if you'll let them. I exhaled. They can come. With you. When I invite. No surprises. He smiled. Small. Grateful. Thank you. He left after an hour. No long goodbye. Just a quiet, I'll call next week. And he did. Every Sunday after that. Short calls, updates on work, therapy, the boys. No asks. No demands. Just presence. The grandkids visited for Thanksgiving. Derek drove them down. They were young adults now. College freshmen. Awkward, but warm. They hugged me tight. We cooked together. Turkey, mashed potatoes, green bean casserole from my mother's recipe. They asked about Grandpa. I told stories. The workshop, the swing he built, the sunflowers he planted. They listened. No phones. Just family. Fragile, but starting. After dinner, they planted the sunflower in the backyard. Together, laughing when dirt got on their hands. Derek watched from the porch. Quiet, eyes shiny. Derek's ex-wife sent a card through him. Thank you for letting them see you. They talk about Grandma's stories all the time. I replied, they're welcome any time. Winter came soft. Snow on the porch, lights on the swing. I decorated simply. Small tree in the living room, candles in the windows. Derek and the boys came Christmas Eve. Brought gifts, books, a bird feeder, a framed photo of Michael and me on the swing. We opened them together. No big presents, just time. Spring returned. The sunflower bloomed, yellow against the green, a small miracle in the yard. I sat on the swing most evenings, tea in hand, watching the sunset paint the cornfields gold. Derek called one evening in May. Mom, I paid the last installment today. It's done. All of it. Principal, interest, damages. I'm debt-free because of what I owe you. But more than that, I'm trying to be debt-free in other ways. No more shortcuts. No more excuses. I smiled into the phone. I'm proud of you. Silence. Warm. Then, can we come for dinner Sunday? The boys want to plant more sunflowers and Maybe visit Grandpa's workshop again. Bring the tools, I said, and tell them Grandma's making apple pie. He laughed, real, light. We'll be there. I hung up, walked to the backyard. The sunflower stood tall, blooms opening to the sun. I whispered to the breeze, Michael, look at us. Promises kept, new ones starting. The wind answered soft through the corn, gentle like his hand on mine. Freedom isn't revenge. It's a swing that still creaks, a garden that blooms, a family that learns, and a woman who finally chooses herself. Every day. The fund was repaid, the heart was healing, and the porch light stayed on.